German streets have been angry places recently. Farmers' protests against fuel costs in part turned against the whole government. Public transport workers keep going on strikes, and more than 1 million people have been out in the cold to say no to extreme right groups getting a foothold in mainstream politics. By German standards, where stability is sexy, the country appears to be in turmoil, one that seems to be losing confidence in itself and its ability to create a brighter future.
For the first time, we're seeing a majority of people believe that Germany is past its prime, that our best years are behind us.
The latest study of Germans' biggest fears has polled previously unseen insecurity levels about the future and the ability of the government to shape it. But Germans are also generally unhappy. An EU survey on life satisfaction shows that Germans are among the unhappiest in the bloc. Only Bulgarians are more dissatisfied with their standard of life.
One gets the sense that living here in Germany isn't really worth it anymore.
All of this is putting German Chancellor Olaf Scholz under intense pressure. Recently, his popularity has hit the lowest level ever recorded for a serving chancellor. Yet instead of a quick fix, Scholz has a tall order for the nation.
That we manage to remain an industrialized country, stay ahead economically with the most modern technology, and protect the climate at the same time.
The days when Germans could expect all of this to be obvious and not cost them anything personally appear to be over. Now people are feeling anxious as they brace for change. So is Germany really doing as badly as many people feel it is? Or has the status of Europe's biggest economy made Germans oversensitive to the growing pains of necessary transition? When farmers started blocking the streets of Berlin at the end of 2023 over fuel prices, many city dwellers seemed to sympathize. A general fear of costs was in the air because the government had made a huge mistake. Scholz's cabinet had put 60 billion euros earmarked for pandemic recovery into the general budget. Germany's highest court ruled this was unconstitutional and blew a hole in the federal budget. Suddenly, Germany was strapped for cash, a feeling that resonated with the personal experiences of many people.
Many people feel they simply can't cover everything with their money, and that leads to dissatisfaction.
I'm pretty shocked that there's such a high level of dissatisfaction.
They're making cuts and everything's getting more expensive.
There's a sense that this immediate discomfort is a precursor to more fundamental transition coming down the line.
The mood in Germany is very unusual. We haven't seen anything like it for decades. An extreme sense of anxiety over whether Germany is even still good at things it used to be good at.
They are worried about change. Change is never easy, and confronted with a situation where people say the economic model of the country has to change, a lot of people are nervous.
And they are dissatisfied with the government. When Finance Minister Christian Lindner tried to talk with protesting farmers, he was shouted down. And the opinion polls are looking bad for all three parties that together make up the current government. At the end of January, polls put these governing parties, Scholz's Social Democrat SPD, the Greens and the pro-business FDP, third, fourth and fifth. In first place was the conservative CDU, followed by the far-right Alternative for Germany, the AfD. They have often been described as a protest party. Their polling numbers suggest many Germans want to protest. They're frustrated with their personal situation, but also the overall political establishment. That's a sentiment that feeds into the narrative of populists around the world. The link between dissatisfaction and right-wing populism is an established pattern. If anything, Germany is late in reaching the kind of levels of public dissatisfaction that delivered right-wing populists like Donald Trump in the US, Hungary's Prime Minister Viktor Orban, or Italy's Giorgia Meloni to power.
Germany has been shielded from that extreme polarization also politically and unfortunately is now catching up, and it's struggling to deal with that because Germany has this culture of stability. People don't like change, don't like, and that creates a lot of frustration.
The far-right AfD has never been stronger. Nationwide, it's hovering at around 20%, making it, as we've seen, the second strongest party. Its leaders, Alice Weidel and Tino Kruppalla, have turned it into a nationwide destination for protest votes. But then it was revealed that high-level AfD members took part in a conference planning mass deportations. For Germany's center, the echoes of the Nazis were too loud to ignore, and more than 1 million protested on one weekend alone. European elections in June will show whether the anti-AfD mood will hold or whether the dissatisfaction is stronger. So Germans are feeling down about their economy and their future. They see cuts and rising prices, and on top of that, a resurgent far right. So let's look at some data to see whether there's reason to worry or whether German angst is getting the better of German society. The facts show that Germany still has impressive economic data. It maintains its place as the 4th largest economy in the world.
Germany is doing economically well in absolute terms. It has done very well over the last 10, 15 years. We have record employment.
Unemployment is way below the EU average, and Germany's stock market keeps breaking new records. And yet, this doesn't seem to be trickling down to people on the street.
The mood is a lot worse than the reality.
Or is it a gut feeling of what's to come? Take a look at the predictions for the near future, and the negative mood doesn't seem so pessimistic. Of the 20 most influential economies in the world, Germany has the 2nd worst growth prediction for 2024. And business confidence is down as well. A key survey of some 9,000 German companies is pointing south. Add to that a whole list of challenges.
We know we are facing years with a shrinking workforce. We need change for climate protection, digitization, infrastructure, but we haven't come up with a convincing plan now to address these issues.
So Germans' anxiety for the future is not all in their heads. Many expect their personal prosperity to be challenged, and the data suggests that they might be right. But it's not all about the economy.
I think that Germany is suffering from a lack of convincing responses to the challenges ahead. There is a budget hole, and taxes increase or subsidies are cut. These two things create conflicts and disappointment.
Germans want a remedy for the economic pain they fear ahead, but what's needed could go beyond what any doctor can prescribe.
Over the pandemic and the crisis over the past 2 years, everyone has to come to expect the government to step in and basically guarantee income.
The population gets the message, we will shield you from all these crises, from everything that happens.
No government in the world can meet those expectations.
Germany is already spending around 40% of the national budget on social issues, and a debt break stops the government borrowing any more money. So Germans cannot expect to be cushioned from the next economic downturn. They have been warned.
We will not be able to secure our prosperity long-term by simply taking on new debt and distributing the money to businesses.
So if the government can't find money to throw at the problem, how might it try to at least reduce people's anger? Most would agree that Scholz's government is failing to give Germans a sense of where these hard times might lead to. He told the angry farmers that those cuts would have to come sometime.
If every subsidy remains forever, if we keep to our positions 100%, if we do everything like always, then we won't move forward.
What he hadn't done so far is directly talk to the wider public about their fears of a poorer future.
I think it would be necessary to be more honest with people and tell them, look, we are in a challenging situation.
Instead, his weekly video messages have repeatedly focused on how to tackle the far right.
Let me say it very clearly. Far-right extremists are attacking our democracy. Never again dictatorship.
The criticism is mounting.
It is really a problem and a mistake by the government, and including the chancellor. And this is not communicating a vision for the future, for the next 5 to 10 years.
That perceived lack of vision is partly due to his lack of room for political maneuver. The three-way coalition the Chancellor is leading struggles to get through a whole week without fighting. The party leaders meet more often to diffuse a crisis than to work on future strategies.
I think the government really does have a problem in that it is very divided.
A heating reform that was so badly managed they were forced to scrap it, and not one but two failed budgets have shattered public confidence in their ability to deliver long-term policies. Voters seem to have an appetite for some realpolitik.
It's just going to be some kind of compromise, unfortunately.
People need to be told what's coming, that these crises have an impact, and things can't stay as they are.
Instead of discussing the big issues that are about to hit Germans with a transition to a greener, more digitized, less labor-intensive economy, Olaf Scholz's coalition and the people they govern are stuck in the here and now, and with a government working hard to survive another day in politics.
I would say Germany needs to focus on its strength. It's about creating trust.
Germany is not the sick man of Europe. The situation is not as bad as many people here feel. But society can also no longer gloss over the profound changes that are already reshaping the German economy. The coming weeks and months will be crucial for Olaf Scholz to do more than just hold his coalition together. He needs to soothe the German angst with a large dose of confidence that he can provide stability. If he fails, populists may gain even more ground with simplistic promises.